The Stevie Wonder, anxiety, dancing, and stalking behaviors. Even the most knowledgeable bird people often misread pacing and or swaying body language, which can be confusing, especially when working with a high-energy bird. Larger parrots like macaws and cockatoos tend to pace in place, quickly whip their heads from side to side, often a dead giveaway of anxiety, or bounce up and down. Smaller parrots, especially cockatiels, tend to do a wider dance by running back and forth on a long perch. Still others, such as the Amazon parrot, will slowly strut, which you can think of as pacing in slow motion. They are the couch potatoes of the bird world, after all. A strut is almost always indicative of a parrot who is feeling possessive of its area. One of the most common ways our parrots try to cope with anxiety is by expending energy with their bodies, and they will often dance in an effort to show that they are upset. Those who do not know what the bird is trying to convey will think this is cute, but I assure you that the bird doesn't think so because it is asking for a little security. Some parrots, on the other hand, will dance when they are feeling gleeful, silly, or musical, so it is important to pay close attention to the situation and mood. Most parrots, unless unusually outgoing, do not sing and dance for strangers, except in an attempt to communicate that they are nervous. Exceptions may include showy cockatoos, a bird that has started dancing once it hears singing or music, a bird that is prompted to dance on command, or an outgoing bird that has learned that acting silly will get it lots of attention. A bird that paces to be let out of its cage is displaying anxiety that you are over there and he is stuck in here. Rapid, repetitive head movements are usually in a whipping motion and can go from side to side, around in circles, or up and down. These movements are most common in cockatoos and macaws and most commonly indicate anxiety, though some individuals skirt the line between showing off and looking nervous. Rapid movements almost always indicate a very tightly wound parrot who may be more prone to biting from overstimulation, even when this body language is of a playful nature. So this is a sequence of an adult blue and gold macaw named Sydney. She's a very anxious bird, and she's a very showy bird. A lot of people misread her body language as being cute and playful when if they were to reach for her, they would realize that she is not being cute. There she is doing the head whipping from side to side. That's a pretty self-explanatory sequence. Head bobbing is typically a less rapid movement and can mean a variety of things. Some birds, especially conures, will head bob when they are feeling happy or content. Macaws head bob from side to side or up and down when they are feeling silly and want to play. This is usually accompanied by eye pinning and a friendly hissing sound. Now that hissing sound is kind of more like a tire pressure, letting air out like a sss, whereas like a cockatoo goes so it's a little bit different. Usually if a macaw hisses at you, it's a happy, I want to play. And now I lost my place. I have seen Amazons head bob when they are feeling sleepy. Some cockatoos will raise their crest and slowly head bob as if to take a bow. Most of them are just being silly. Introverted African gray parrots will sometimes head bob when they are feeling a bit threatened as a way of saying, don't come any closer, I bite. So this is our adult blue and gold macaw, Peggy Sue. She's playfully head bobbing up and then down and then up. That third picture is her talking, and you'll notice that she's eye pinning a little bit, and it's very common for a macaw to talk while they're head bobbing or make any kind of other silly gesture. So up, down, up, eye pin and vocalization, and down again. Bouncing. This dance in which a bird will rapidly hop or bounce up and down is typical of some parrots, including macaws, cockatoos, and lories, who are trying to be the center of attention, but may also be a nervous signal that he or she wants to be stepped up right now. Please hang tight for the section on becoming your parrot's personal taxi cab. Bouncing movements are occasionally accompanied by a whistling and most popularly used by Moluccan and umbrella cockatoos. This is a Moluccan cockatoo, Dolly, and she's bouncing and whistling. Now later I'll get into aggressive body language. Cockatoos can be a little tricky. They get really excited, and it can often be a little difficult to tell whether they are really, really excited and just happy to be alive or may bite. So this particular bird was very happy. Hi, Chrissy. Are you going to come over here? Come on. Pacing, rocking, and stalking. These behaviors are similar and most commonly indicate irritability, though some high-energy birds just love to move it. Birds that rock slowly in place, especially while in a roosting position, are feeling possessive and will strike when invaded. Birds who stalk will also hunch down, flattening their back, and will lift feet high as if marching. Pacing and swaying while standing vertically or running back and forth on a perch usually indicates that a bird is excited, anxious, or is trying to solicit attention. Birds who pace in the cage typically are asking to be released from their cell by showing excitement, and we call this the let me out of my cage dance. Chrissy, you can't have the laptop or my soda. Here, go back to. Okay, so this picture on the left is Red Lorry Mars pacing in her cage. That's just a hey, let me out, I'm here, let me out. Cockatiel in the middle is Cockatiel Cooper. And she's doing a slow rocking while roosting. She's sitting on a clutch of eggs there. Typically, people who breed or have seen breeder birds will know that when you look into the nest box, typically they will rock back and forth, and if it's a cockatiel or cockatoo, even some other species, they may hiss at you. This last picture on the right is our blue and gold macaw, Peggy Sue, nervously pacing and swaying in place. That's a rocking back and forth from side to side, and it's usually pretty rapid, a pretty rapid motion. That's her preferred method. You know, some birds bounce up and down, you know, let me out, or you know, that person's gonna come near me. Hers is to rock from side to side. Don't let that person come near me, they might bite. So you can, she should be fine with you here. We're not at home. Okay. He's scared to pick her up.
She attacks.
She attacks him.
She's not a big fan of me.
She's good when we go out. Okay, here are some other examples of these behaviors. Up in the left-hand corner, that is our Triton cockatoo, Vinnie Batu. Stalking behavior. Now, luckily for this guy, he has not learned how to stalk in a really aggressive, mean way. He's still very young, and he's just experimenting with stalking right now. So he's kind of playful about it, but it will progress as he gets older into an aggressive behavior. He's got his head up. That's kind of usually what they do when they go marching style. The one right below him, that's a citron-crested cockatoo, and he is doing a more rapid shuffle as he stalks, but you can tell that he's stalking because he's got his head down and his back fairly flattened, and they kind of move in a methodical pace as they're walking somewhere. The upper right corner picture, that's slow rocking, can also be seen in young unweaned chicks, as I just described. Like this cockatoo, this was actually one of Evelyn Candelaria's. His name was Assam. He was what, 12 months old in that picture maybe? He was still begging for baby food, yeah. So, and he was a slow to wean guy. He didn't want to grow up, but so this bird, notice how he fluffs up all of his feathers, face, head, body, wings, everything. You can tell by the foot placement that he is rocking from side to side. This is a Magellan conure in the lower right-hand corner, and he is stalking, head down, back flattened, and again, I don't have video, but it's a slow, methodical pace as they rock. He's also eye pinning, so you can tell that he's a bit excited.